Here are 25 things I'm doing at 33 to ensure the highest quality of life at 73. This is how I plan on guarantee that I look, feel, and perform at my very best regardless of age. Because here's the God's honest truth. You don't wake up in your 70s feeling amazing by accident. You build the health decades in advance. And if you start now, you set yourself up for a high quality of life packed with strength, energy, and independence instead of spending it battling fatigue, aches, and doctor's appointments. These are all relatively simple things, but the impact of implementing them is huge. Okay, without further ado, let's get stuck into number one. The first and most important one, I lift weights 4 times per week. Muscle is one of the biggest cheat codes for longevity. It protects your bones, keeps your metabolism firing, and prevents you from turning into one of those frail old people that none of us particularly want to be, who struggle to get in and out of their chair. 2, I do at least 2 hours of cardio a week, not because I love it, but because your heart and lungs aren't optional. You are only as strong as the strength of your heart and lungs. You can be as strong as you want in the gym, but if your cardiovascular system is weak, you're just simply setting yourself up for disaster somewhere down the road, sooner rather than later. I sleep with mouth tape and a nose strip because breathing through your nose instead of your mouth isn't just better for your sleep, it's better for overall oxygen uptake, stress levels, and even your jaw structure. So if you want that heavenly chiseled jaw, if you're a man or a woman, then breathing through your nose and nasal breathing can actually help with that. I eat a high protein diet because protein is the foundation of muscle recovery and satiety levels. So if your goal is fat loss, for instance, eating a bunch of protein in each meal is going to help you stave off those feelings of hunger, which means achieving a calorie deficit is going to be that much easier. Most people just don't eat enough protein, and then they actually wonder why they feel sluggish and weak. So if you want to stay strong into your old age, you need to support it with enough protein. Keep on top of my hydration levels. And I drink at least 3 to 4 liters every day. I do a lot of that when I'm training in the gym. Most people are walking around chronically dehydrated, and then they think they've got energy issues when a lot of the times it could be fixed with just a bit of water and hydrating themselves. I do mobility work before every training session. It is non-negotiable because it's not enough to be strong. You also need to be able to move well. I've seen too many people, usually lads in the gym, who can deadlift pretty big weights, but can't bend down to tighter shoes. That's not really a win in my eyes. I do my best to manage my stress. Not always perfectly, but I do try. Chronic stress wrecks your body. It tanks your hormones, wrecks your sleep, and makes you feel older than you actually are. So if you want to get to those 60s, 70s, and 80s feeling pretty darn good, you need to manage your stress. Then, speaking of sleep, I aim for at least 7 hours or more, ideally, per night. And I'll be honest, I can feel the difference when I don't get it. You can't out-train bad sleep. If you're sleeping 4 or 5 hours a night and running on caffeine, you might feel okay now. You probably don't, but that bill always comes due sooner rather than later. I use a standing desk and make sure I don't sit for more than 90 minutes at a time. Sitting all day is one of the worst things you can do for your body. You're basically training yourself to be stiff, weak, and immobile. This next one is very important, and that is I never ignore pain. Pain is feedback. It's your body's way of telling you something is wrong. And if you keep pushing through it without addressing the root cause, you're just asking for trouble. So please never ignore pain. I average over 13,000 steps per day. Walking is probably the most underrated form of exercise there is. Actually, it is. It's great for your cardiovascular system, your joints, your digestion, and even your mental health and clarity. And it requires literally 0 effort to start. Put your shoes on, get your butt outside. I cycle to and from the gym, which is just an easy way to get in more movement without thinking about it. Now, this might not be applicable to everyone, but the idea is that I am increasing my overall movement. I'm keeping my activity up, and I'm just expending more energy, which when it comes to keeping a leaner physique and just overall greater health, definitely helps the cause. I also supplement where needed. So I get as much of my micronutrients, minerals, vitamins, etc., from whole foods. But if I'm missing something, which of course I am, I don't hesitate to supplement. There's no point in making life harder than it needs to be. So I supplement when I need it. I'm not a big seafood eater. I don't eat any oily fish. So to counteract that, I supplement a very, very high quality omega-3 into my diet. This one is very important. And that is I take 10 grams of creatine every single day, not just on the days I'm training, every single day. And this isn't just for strength, but importantly, it's for brain health, cognitive function, recovery, and longevity. It's one of the most well-researched supplements in the world, and it is for a reason, because it is amazing. I also use magnesium to help with sleep and muscle function. Now, a lot of people are deficient in magnesium without kind of ever realizing it, and it does have a big impact on things like recovery, relaxation, and then just overall stress levels. So magnesium is one of those supplements that I just can't recommend enough, and I do think everyone should be taking some sort of magnesium supplement unless their diet is just packed with magnesium-rich foods. Now, outside of just training and nutrition, I've been quite lucky that I've made sure my work feels like a bit of a hobby. That's because stress is a silent killer. And if you hate what you do, no amount of cardio, protein, whatever it is going to save you from burnout. I also don't really drink alcohol much anymore, maybe once, twice a month at the most. And that's because alcohol just wrecks your sleep, wrecks your recovery, and slows down your progress, which I'm kind of keen for as much progress as I possibly can right now. I'm not saying you need to cut it out completely and go teetotal, because I'm not going teetotal, not just yet anyway, but it's definitely something to be mindful of, especially if your goal is fat loss. I've trained lots of clients, and one of the stumbling blocks for a lot of them was just their drinking habits. If they were drinking 2, 3, 4 times a week, that is a lot of just unnecessary calories. Also, the disruption to their sleep was also impacting their energy levels, which then has a knock-on effect to their ability to train hard in the gym. So all these little things and nuances can make the goal of fat loss just that much harder. In the gym, I train both stability and power. Strength is important, but so is being able to move with control. When you get older, it's not just about how much you can lift, it's about how well you can function. I make sure most of my foods come from whole, nutrient-dense sources. Now, I'm not saying every processed foods, because believe me, I do, but the majority of my calories come from things that actually fuel my body properly and help me feel good. And when I train, I don't push to failure every single set. Now, this is something I learned the hard way when I was a bit younger, but now at the age of 33, I can't really play that game anymore because I just feel it in my body. I feel it in my recovery. My stress is a bit higher and my ability to recover just isn't that good. So please don't push every set to failure as much as you may want to. You do get more out of it by keeping 1 to 2 reps in the tank. Trust me. I always have a physical and mentally challenging goal set. That's a non-negotiable for me, because without a goal, you start to stagnate. Whether it's hitting a new strength milestone, running a faster 5K, or learning a new skill, having a target keeps you sharp. This next one is going to be music to your ears if you're a coffee lover like myself. But I drink coffee every day, not just because I like it, because goddamn I like it, but because it actually has proven health benefits. It's packed with antioxidants, it supports brain function, and honestly, I just enjoy the living hell out of it. When I feel stressed or overwhelmed, I write with a good old traditional pen and paper. It sounds basic, but there's something about just physically writing things down that helps clear my mind. I just feel that much better when I've done so. I make a point to feel gratitude daily, because it's easy to get caught up in what's wrong. But when you actually step back and acknowledge what's good in your life, your mindset shifts completely. Now, when a lot of people think about gratitude, it's kind of that whole woo-woo gratitude thing. And to be honest, that's how I was as well. But I think gratitude is much more than that. It's having the ability to just sit down with your thoughts and just recognize what's good in your life. And doing that every single day, trust me when I say, it will just switch something in your brain and you just feel that much lighter throughout your day. And finally, one that's been quite difficult for me, to be honest, but I'm working on not taking things so personally. Like, let's be real for a moment. Most of the time, things aren't actually about us. They're not about you. So if you can learn that skill, trust me when I say, you will feel a million times better. At the end of the day, life is both short and long at the very same time. You need to prepare for the now, of course, but you also need to prepare for the game ahead. You need to be thinking ahead at all times. A high quality life doesn't just happen. You got to build it. You got to put the work in, and you do that through the choices that you make every single day. Because the goal isn't just to live longer, it's to live better. What's the point in getting to 70, 80 years of age and you're not fit to scratch your arse? Okay, you want to be able to have those moments and those memories with your loved ones, and you do that through having a high quality of life that you build through health and fitness. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel. please do. It mean the world to me. And give the video a good old thumbs up while you're at it. And then drop a comment below with any questions you may have, or simply to say hello. Thanks a million for watching, and I'll catch you for the next one. Adios.